Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. We've got like 3 puzzles left to solve in our current region to get a gold window, and we did some decent work last time, if I can recall. So, it's largely more difficult puzzles left, I think. There's a 5 there, there's a 4 there that I can't wrap my brain around, a 5 there, a 7 there, and a 6 here, and I don't think there's many, if any, others I've missed. That one we've done. Okay, let's revisit this, shall we? So, 3 regions. And then we're going to need something that is... There's like algebra going on here, I'm sure. In total, it's 35 squares. Let's get some notes going. 35. We need 3 regions total, because of our flowers telling us that. Then 2 of the regions are going to be X and X plus or minus 1. We're going to have Y and Y plus or minus 5. And Z plus or minus 6. But the way this is going to work out is, I think we need to make sure that these 3 are all linked to each other in some kind of chain. Because we can't have things existing on both sides of a line, and for not only the reason that the wall exists, but the same thing can't be 6 different of itself. So, if there's 35 total, this is going to be at least 7, at least 6, and at least 2. But that doesn't really help. This doesn't have to get out, but we can only get out to 2 because of the length of this wall. So what do we take from that? This could be as big as this, but I suspect these are not both 1. Okay, they can't be 1s because they have to get a rose. Okay. How do I get these 3 to each get a rose? Is that going to mean that 2 of these have to be the same thing? But it's going to have to be either these 2 as a region or those 2 as a region. That could be it. So if this is a region, it can't touch either of those, so it would have to do this. But that doesn't work because how does this touch either of those? Well, it could do... something. God, there's so many limitations on what we can and can't do here, and all of them are breaking me. Because we've got these 3 tiles. They can't be of different colors because we can't get them all out. So 2 of them have to be the same, and it has to be 2 neighbors because we can't do this and leave 1 there either. So either X and Y are in the same group, or Y and Z are in the same group. So if this is 6, we'll say this is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. And that's not going to go. Because then this is trapped. But I feel like there's going to have to be something like this going on. If that was 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. $11, 12, 13 minus 5 is 8. 13 minus 6 is 7. But the problem I have here is this doesn't get a rose. So this has to be the one that comes out to the rose. And then that gets crammed in. Oh no. There's something really clever going on here. And I can see like wisps of it. But I can't see like the trick. Now this tile has to get to a flower. We know that's true. And to do that, it can't go out, so it has to go through somebody. And from here, this is 6, this is 8, this is 8, and this is 8. So this number is going to be at least 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. That's 9 and 8. Does work, but then this, again, doesn't work. I can't see what I'm supposed to do with that at all. That's why we've given up on it once before already, evidently. This looks more manageable, doesn't it? Range 3 to 6. So 3s have to be 3 6s. Right? They just do. Because 3 plus 3 is 6, and the range is 3 to 6. So we can mark a bunch of these out. And then the 2s can be 3 5s or 4 6s. So for this to get out, because it can't be a 1, is going to have to be a 3 or a 6. We don't know which yet. So for this to be a 3 6, it has to be 3 4 5 or a 6 5 4. And those two can't exist like that, so we have to draw those, or at least this 4 5 has to come up. Where it goes after that we don't know, but it has to do at least that much. And then the same is true over here. So this has to be a 3 6. And this one here is going to be a 4 5, which means that's going to be true, and that's going to go up. And this is also going to be part of a 4 5. This has to get out to at least 3. So that means this is a 3 6. And then this is going to be a 4 5. So it's a 3 plus 2 for 5, or a 6 minus 2 for 4. That means that line exists. That has to come out to here. This is going to be a 3 6. The 3, 6 and the 4, 5 can't join together to be one area, so someone's going to have to get out of there eventually. This is a 3, 6, but might not have to join up to this one here. And that feels... Okay, this has to be at least a 3, 6 as well. Where do we go from there? It's a great question. Well, we're non-boxy. So a lot of these things are going to have to start taking some corners soon. Because right now we just have a bunch of boxes. So that tells us that this can't be a 3. Because if it was a 3, it would be a box. So this is a 6, this is a 6, this is a 6. That means these are 4 and 4. And the same is true down here. This is a 6, this is a 6, this is a 6. This is a 4 and a 4. And the same is true over here. This is a 6, this is a 6, this is a 6. This is a 4. And... this is a 3, and this is a 3. Okay. Using non-boxy, we can clean up some of the rest of this as well. 6 minus 3 is 3. We know that's just a 3, 6 pair over those. This is a 3. And this 6 to 3 has to be this, because if the 3 went straight down, it would be boxy. So this is a 4. So this is a 3, 5. That has to come out to here. It's also a 4, which means this is a 6. This is also a 6. And that has to finish the 6 there, because the 6 can't be boxy. This is a 4. The 4 has to come to there, because the 4 can't be boxy. That has to come down to here. It's going well. Whatever this is, it can't be a 1, it can't be a 2, it has to be at least a 3. Can't be a 3 because a 3 is boxy. Therefore, this is a 6, this is a 6, and this is a 6. Therefore, this is a 6, and this is a 6. Not necessarily the same 6. Okay. What else do we know? This 4 could do this. It could do... well, can't do that, because this 3, 5 would get to here, and that would be a 1, which is not allowed. Could do that. That would be viable. Could do that. I think that could be viable. So, uncertainty there. What else do we know must be true? I don't think this can be a 3. Because if it's a 3, it would have to go to here and go up to there, or here, which traps that in. Therefore, I don't think this can ever be a 3. Because that can't be a 3, it makes boxy. So, I think this has to be a 6. Doesn't have to be the same 6 as this region, though. But that means this is a 4. After that, great question. Well, this can't be a 3, because it can't do that. So this has to be a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, can't do that. So This has to be a 6. And I think this has to be absorbed into this corner shape, because if we do that, it leaves that as a 1, which can't exist. This can't come across to there. Therefore, this has to take on this one. And it has to get out. It can't get out with just this one. It could get out with those two, leaving that to do a 6 in some other configuration. So I think those have to be part of the 6. This one is ambiguous right now. If this is a 3-5, then this has to be a 3-5, but the opposite of what this is. This is a 5, this is a 3. If this is a 3, this is a 5. What else? What else? There's gotta be something around here. There's gotta be. This 6 might be part of this. It might be part of that. This 6 and this 6, I think, have to be part of the same region. Because this can't join that region. And if I make any kind of hypothetical 6 here, this gets boxed in. So I believe those two are part of the same area. They might take this, they might not. Where else do we go from here? Things that border 2s have to be 3 5s or 4 6s. But there's enough variation right now that I don't know how that's going to play out. I was very happy with this top corner until then it just kind of ground to a halt. This 4 is going to have to take this tile, I think, because it can't be straight. It either has to be that or that, by the looks of things. So I think this has to be a 4. I just don't know which way this picks it up. If that has to be a 4, then that means this space is penned in by the chain of 4s. If this is going to make 6, it can't now cross that line, which I think means that's an area, and that's an area. Which means this 3 has to go 3... Oh no. That can't exist as a box. Something's gone wrong here. Okay, let's bring that back a bit to something that we know might otherwise be true. This 3 has been here for ages being solvable because it can't do that. It has to do that as a hook. Because this is, we know this is a 6. We know that has to be a 3. A 3 can't be a straight line. So therefore, oh, that's the 4. And How is this 6 getting out? Oh no. Oh no, oh no. I feel like I need to redo this whole right side. Because something isn't working about these 6s counting to 6. Right, let's wipe this out. Keep that right side. The right side's solid. So, this is... Oh. You know what I did? You know what I did? At least up here. I thought to myself, this has to be a 3 or a 6. It could be a 4. And this could be a 4. Because they can be 4s over 0s, and that's absolutely fine. And then 4 plus 2 is 6. So that top end could have been completely wrong. Glad we caught that. Down here, on a 2, this has to be a 3-5 or a 4-6. This has to be a 3-5 or a 4-6. Now, this tile can't be a 1 or a 2, has to get out to here. Can't be a 2, has to get out to here. So that's at least a 3. It has to be at least a 4. Um, 4 plus 3 is 7. 4 minus 3 is 1. So because this 3 is here, this can't be a 3. So we know this has to be a 6, and this has to be a 3. So this has to be a 6, this has to be a 6. That's how we get back to knowing that. 6 minus 2 is 4. That 4 has to get up past the 3. This 3 can't do that. Can't do that. Has to do this. Put a box around it. This is a 6. Doesn't necessarily have to be part of this 6, but it is a 6. That makes this a 4 and this a 4. So that I'm very happy with. We understand now where I believe I went wrong up here, defining these as having to be 6s when they did not have to be 6s. They can't be 3s, because 3 would be boxy, but it could be a 4, 5, or a 6, and that could be a 4, 5, or a 6 with it. Okay. At least we have more stuff that we're reasonably certain about now. So, back to non-boxy stuff. It can't be a 1, can't be a 2, can't be a 3, has to be 4 plus. That means this has to be an equal 4 plus. That would go to there. That would have to be a 6, and that would trap the 4 in. So, can't do that. There's going to be some really clean way of getting this that I'm not quite seeing the path of here. This is equal to this. This 2 here is going to be either a... let's try and mark it like this. It's either a 3-5 pair or a 4-6 pair. Really, really ugly. 5, 3, 6, 4. Okay. This can't be that. This has to get out. So we know that's correct. After that... Oh, great question. Great question. If this is 4, we'd have to do that, which would mean this would have to be 6. Well, that joins up to that, makes 4. Then this has to also be 4, but we can't have a 2x2 like that. So this has to get out to there. That means this can't be 4. If it's 5 or 6, we can't leave that one there. So I think this shape, if this is 4, this is 4 and square. If this is 4, that's square. So I think it has to be 5 plus. Does it have to be that one? It does have to be that one, because if we do this, that's left on a 1, and it can't come around here. So some of this is familiar from the first time we did this when we were thinking that it might be 6s. But I think we decided it couldn't be 6s, and now we're getting towards it probably being 5s. If that's 5, and that's 5, 4, 3... that looks the most reasonable right now, because if this went up to 6, where does the 6th piece of this go? It can't go anywhere. So this is 5. This is equal to 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. This had to escape to there, but it can't be a straight line. I'm happy with this. So this is a 3. This is a 3. This 3 has to be of an angle. Can't do that because that gets there, so that has to be this. That means this could be this 3, or it could be a larger growing 5. It's one of the two. I feel like there's enough... like there's a small enough space left now that we should be able to kind of worm our way to a solution. There's no way for this 6 to be independent of these. Because if this is 6, that gets left as 5. So that is picking up that. This 3 has to go either that way. No, it can only go that way. It's doing what it did over here. It can't go out there. So that 3 exists, which means this is a 5. But that makes that the 4, and that doesn't fit anymore. Oh dear. Now something else feels like it's wrong somewhere along the line. And weirdly, it feels like it's going to be the top left corner that's incorrect most. Because now I'm very happy with everything past this line. And to some extent, those. Because we started in the bottom corner and that was all fairly independent. I guess there's a chance that this 5 comes out further. But I'm going to check this top corner here, because the bottom left corner is pretty solid. So it feels like the top left corner now is where it's most likely an error has crept in, because that's where we started and had the least going on. We also decided that this had to be at least 3 across. And it can't be a 3 because that's boxy, so it has to be at least 4. 4 minus 2 can't be, so it has to be 6 minus 2 making a 4. That means that 3 has to go there. Then this is a 5 coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes that 6. That 5 is going to come out. That 4 has to go to there. 3, 4, 5 has to come up to here. If this is a 5, this is a 3. That could go to there or there. We're not sure yet. That has to come out to there. Are we going to be able to fill up this top left corner backwards now? Well, we still know that this can't be a 1, it can't be a 2, it can't be a 3. It has to be at least a 4. 4 minus 3 doesn't go. It means it has to be 6 minus 3 to make 3. Right? That 3 can't do that because it leaves a 1. So that 3 has to do that. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 has to get out and get out and get out. That leaves this with being a 3 that doesn't fit. And I'm so mad about it. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. No, this can't be 5. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. I've done things independently in every corner and just not quite worked it out. Is there any reason why, with our new knowledge, that this 3 couldn't go that way instead? And that ends up a 5. It doesn't make a difference. We still end up too short in here. Because, like, that 6 is there. Oh, well, could it go that way? And then that's 5 and that's... No, because that's a solid line. Wait a minute. Hold on. If this is 4, 4 and 1, this could be a 5. Couldn't it? Now I'm really lost and I'm mad about it. I'm so lost on this whole puzzle now, which is really upsetting because I don't know which corner has the mistake. And it feels like I have to restart the whole thing, which is going to be super laborious. Right. Okay. We know some things for sure. 1, 2, 3. Can't be a 3. Has to be at least a 4. Can't be a 4 because 4 minus 3 is 1. 4 plus 3 is 7. So, this is 6s. Because it's a line that exists with a 3 on it. That's the same for here. This is at least 3 6s. And this is at least 3 6s. This does not have to be 6s. 6 minus 2 is 4. 6 minus 3 is 3. This 3 has to make that shape because there's no other shape it can make. That makes this a 4, this a 4, and that a 4. Lock it in. That means this 6 here gets that 3 there. This is a 4, a 4, a 4. Lock that in. This is all 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. Means that comes across. This 5 has to get out. 6 minus 3 is 3. Can't make this shape. Has to make that shape. 6 minus 2 is 4. Has to make that shape. And now I'm stuck with this again, which is clearly the biggest part of my problems. There's a huge fly buzzing around me now that has just appeared. That's not irritating at all. How does this tile break from our current logical deductions? So ignore that right side. Where have I made a mistake here? So, once again, 1, 2, 3. Can't be a 3, has to be at least a 4. Which means it has to be at least a 5, has to be at least a 6. Is there ever a world where that can be... No, because... It has to be at least a 6, because it can't be a 3. Because it... Brain. Can't be a 3. Has to be at least a 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 4 plus 3 is 7. That's too big. 5 plus 3 is 7. That's too big. Or 5 plus 3 is 8. That's too big. 5 plus 3 minus 3 is 2. That's too small. So this has to be 6s. Therefore, if this is a 6, 6 minus 3 is 3. 3s have a limited number of shapes that they can make. Could that be one of them? Instead of this? That might be where I've made a real error, isn't it? So that's a 6. So this is now 5. That feels like it's going to be good against some of our previous issues. There's the 6. There's the 4. Then this could be a 5, joining up to that. 5, 4. This is a 3, going out in one way or the other. So this is a 5 that has to pick up this or this. This is a 3 that has to pick up that or that. Now we can go back to the right-hand side of the puzzle now that this 3 isn't incorrect like I had it previously. Okay, cool. That's where I'd gone wrong. We decided that this has to be a 6, and it has to be part of the same region, I believe. That line has to exist. We had decided previously that this couldn't be 4s. I think, I'm not going to redo my whole thought process on it, but I think this has to be 5s. And that process was... that process was 5s, and 5s, and 3, and 3, and 3, and 5, and 6, and 6. Thank God, this 3 really hung me up trying to make it mirror this when, in fact, it did not. Alright, well, did we get through one whole puzzle today? Not my best, but hey, we've been here for 40 minutes. These things are going to happen sometimes. So, this my brain can't wrap around. This my brain can't wrap around. Which leaves me with 6 and 7 as the 2 available puzzles that I know about. Is there one more? Did I do... We did that one. Oh, God. It does not bode well when the last 2 that I have any hope of solving right now, at least on my current perspective of things, are a 6 and a 7. But that does seem to be the case. Well, we're going to try. For now, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.